My name is Skylar Shako. I'm the CEO and founder of elle. It's basically a company that is trying to solve AGI in a much different way. What we do at elle is we build a fundamental model that is able to learn and articulate the environment. So we think about elle as environment first, not request first, if that makes sense. One of the main differences that elle has over other AGI attempts, I would say, is that we are able to utilize the environment, create a footprint in the environment, and then have that footprint actually create an output for the user. Instead of thinking of AI as a tool or a feature that you can use, right? This idea of AGI, this general intelligence, it's like the holy grail of AI, right? It's something that every company's chasing, and deep tech companies, especially OpenAI, right? While they have a good LLM, and LLM is a great model for learning, specifically for creating a better search engine, essentially, is what I see ChatGPT, and even the future of ChatGPT is. It's a great tool, and I use it every day, and I recommend it if you haven't tried it. There are other alternatives, obviously, and so I think AGI is not even in the scope of where OpenAI is headed. Even if they said tomorrow that they have AGI, I think their approach fundamentally is flawed. You can't create an LLM and expect it to be able to understand real world behavior, right? And that's kind of where our differentiator at elle is, right? We take an environment first, behavioral first approach, and not a request first approach. In the case of OpenAI, they were the first ones to show that AI is valuable, AI is capable, and AI is here to stay. It's funny, even after 4 years, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface at something that is much, much richer and much, much deeper than anything I thought in the beginning, right? So, like I said, our approach to AI is much, much different than any other company. We believe in building environment first, which is basically something that nobody else is thinking of, right? Everyone else says, oh, I'm an individual, I need something done, I'll ask an AI, the AI will produce it, and then I will see the outcome, and I'll either accept the outcome or I'll reject it and get a new outcome, right? What I'm proposing is that you don't get to decide, and as you behave, our fundamental model starts to incorporate its understanding and builds a better model of the world around you and gives you the deliverables that you want, but not at your request. And we talk a lot about Mark Weiser and what he did at Xerox. He was the godfather of ambient intelligence. He understood that if you walk into a forest, there's a lot more context in that forest than you even realize, right? And the richness of a forest is beyond imagination, right? And to be able to tap into some of that entropy and learn from the entropy and be able to discuss the entropy in a way that is meaningful and enriching to the individual, but also to the community as a whole, right? Now imagine like a rare bird starts chirping. That sound, there is this bird's chirp, and you don't even have to know about it. But the fact that you picked it up, the fact that you helped the model and gave the model information about the real world in a behavioral system allows not only you to learn something, that you found this amazingly rare bird, but also help the people that are studying that location, right? because now they know that that bird was there. See, there's this kind of communal like aspect to an environmental AI, right? That gives the individual the benefit of helping the community through just living and interacting with their daily life. And I think that that's what Ellie is, right? Ellie is this kind of new layer of technology that is kind of seamless in the sense that you don't know it's doing anything, but yet it does everything. And that's what's so unique and so hard to explain. And it's taken me 4 years. It takes a lot of time to really understand what I'm talking about. And it's so simple to say like, oh yeah, it's just this or just this example, but it's more fundamental. When you get into the ecosystem or when you get into the way of thinking about Ellie, you fundamentally change the way that you see technology. The key difference to Ellie that no one else really understands, and I can explain it until I'm blue in the face. Number one, we are not a technology that tries to build on top of something, right? We're fundamental. And what I mean by fundamental, I don't mean like, oh, we built our own new mathematical model. I mean, we are literally following the natural evolution of nature. Like we are actually trying to incorporate the things that nature uses to decide how to kill and keep specific attributes, let's say, or specific data that is useful for the environment and the individual and the community as a whole. That's the first thing, right? We put natural science and like chemistry and physics and biology, and we put it as one thing, right? It's one ginormous force. Nature is a force, right? It's dx over dt. It's the change of something over time. Entropy, right? So our model is entropic by nature, and it's the natural progression of evolution of something, right? So if you ask me, hey, like, can it do this? Can it do that? It's like, I don't know if it can, but I can tell you it will learn to. You might download Ellie and you might install it and you might subscribe or you might whatever, and nothing will happen. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be exactly the same. Your life will not change. But then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks go by, and slight things will start to occur.